6,852. Now, this is a random number. Okay, it's definitely not my profit. It's definitely not my revenue. It's definitely not, you know, my offer or the price of the service or anything like that. And it's a completely random number. I just decided to wake up today and roll with. Yeah, they're not totally not my earnings for the month, for the 3 months, for year to date. These don't worry, yeah, is all I'm saying. But hypothetically, if you want to sell fitness and you want to do it online, and or maybe you're just curious as to like what the hell I've been up to if you know me personally, this is it. This is let me just break down every single thing of how you'd run an online business selling fitness, being completely remote, time free, all of that stuff, right? So let's get into it. First things first. Now I'm gonna walk you through this process as if you're me back when I started doing this whole thing from scratch. Now I had a mentor to help me do it. I love investing in mentorships. That's all I do. I just spend all my money on mentorships and I go broke just spending it on that. Okay, but this is what I do. And this guy taught me high ticket sales, the synthesizer model. If you, it is basically just running, making money online in the quickest way, doing it something that's purposeful as well. And so let's get into it. I'm going to assume that you want to make fitness, like sell fitness online. Maybe you've got already got an Instagram account that's just like, I don't know, your name underscore fitness. Maybe you've tried to PT in person, though I highly doubt it. Chances are you're either curious about what I've done or you want to know what it's like to be an online coach. And I'm going to break down how you do it essentially. So, first things first is releasing imposter syndrome because we've never coached before. If this is your first time doing anything, we've never coached before. But you're gonna feel like, oh, I'm not even ready to coach, or who can I coach? Because you might have this one limiting belief, maybe because you're not strong enough, or you're not far into the thing, or you know, there's so many people on social media that I might lift like I don't know, I'm at RDL like 90 kilos. And I think as a girl, that's like not good enough because I'm seeing fat people do 150, for example. You might feel like you're not ready for it, or you might have just bare. You don't even own any Gymshark or Young LA stuff, which is me, by the way. I don't own any like gym culture related. I just turn up in my trackies, bro. I'll turn up in this gown if I could. You know what I mean? I used to rock up in Crocs until they had a stern wording with me that, like, I don't know. Some people were just running on treadmills in the gym with Crocs, and then they slip, fell, and then burnt everything off their skin. And then they tried to sue the gym for it. And then when he was telling me this, and I was like, bro, I promise you now I'm not gonna be suing you, man. I don't get that's actually on you, fam. If that happens to you, that's genuinely just on you. But furthermore, he was yeah, so I just turn up in anything. So you might feel like a heavy sensation of feeling that maybe I'm not cut out for this or da 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 da. Bro, let me put it like this. Everyone who had to do something online or start their own business, everyone had to do it for the first time. And so that imposter syndrome will disappear as soon as you make your first sale. So you get the first client, as soon as you get that first win, that already flies off the door because the minute that happens, it's like, okay, cool. Now I've actually got to do this stuff. And once you've done it once, you've done it. Like the imposter syndrome disappears. Yeah. But if you haven't got that first sale yet, there might be a huge bit of resistance. But let me tell you this, you were the first testimonial. You were the first success story for your PT business, for your fitness business. You were, what's it called, man? Area 51. It's not Area 51. It's I know. What? Sorry. Whoa, that looks so cool. Um you was Project A. So the fact that you've done it for yourself, here's the thing. When it comes to coaching, there's different levels to it. And you can go from this is me explaining the whole business model. Don't worry, I'm not bouncing between a lot of different points, but I'll get there. I'll get to the point. Yeah, so don't worry. Um I yeah, the more personalized, the more one-on-one, the whole thing ever, the higher ticket you can charge. Like, let's say, because let's pose the question. Like, you might be asking, what's your pricing, and like, how do I determine price? I've never done it before, X, Y, Z. Let me put it like this: price is just nothing but an indicator. Like, the higher the price is, the more personalized it has to be. Like, if you was to ask the question, how can I charge Because you hear this all the time. Either you sell 10 things for £10, you make £100, or you sell one thing for 1,000 and you make £1,000. And then someone like obviously hilariously in the internet space, they go, "Oh yeah, just sell one home for 1 million and be a millionaire." Um, that works. Like logically speaking, if you was to ask yourself the question, how can I sell a fitness program for $10,000 for a month, right? With the right pitch and with the right offer, you can actually do that. And the way you do that is you personalize it and make it so one-to-one and high intensive. The idea is that the client has to do absolutely, in this scenario, the client has to do absolutely nothing. Like, bro, between me and you, if someone was to pay me $10,000 for a fitness program for a month, I will break into their house. I will wake them up, carry them with my bare arms to the kitchen, sit them down, open their mouth, and spoon feed them the breakfast. Then I'd walk them to the gym. I'd literally lay them on the machine and I'll count everything. They could be asleep. It don't matter. I'll connect nerve scientific like pulses and send electric shocks to stimulate the bicep curl. You know what I mean? For $10,000, I'll do anything humanly possible to get that guy to his ideal weight. You see what I'm saying? But on the flip end, if you was to sell something for $10 for a whole year, bro, I'm not working for that. Take a spreadsheet. You know what I'm saying? Take a ChatGPT prompt that I've just pulled out my ass. You know what I mean? Like for $100 program that gave you a year membership, it might just be a bunch of courses, which is knowledge. If you do want to do that, I'll tell you how that scales in the long term. But for now, we don't need to worry about that. All we're gonna assume is that our pricing is good, right? Another thing when it comes to dealing with the pricing issue is you don't know how much to charge. Like if you was to just pull your number out, well, logically, well, let me explain to you this. Price is an indicator. For starters, you might want to go 2,000 for 3 months, see how that goes. Chances are, with enough sales call, let's say you run 20 calls and at 2,000, and let's just assume that your sales and everything is great, then you'll end up making no sales. And then you realize, okay, let me turn down the price. Then you might go £100 for 3 months and you might run that for 3 months and you might end up getting 5 clients and being like, hold on, I'm doing way too much for $500, for example. So I need to double my price to 1,000. Or you might go, now this seems right. This feels like £100 of work that I'm giving for everyone. So I'm gonna just keep the price. Like genuinely, you run the price of data more than like data and capacity, rather than the pursuit of the value or the actual intensity of it itself, because you are the value. So however much you value your time is also that. But just to get your confidence out the door, what I would recommend if you was to get to this like number on the screen here is I would literally just set the price at like my first one was 600. So and then I've only just increased the price from there. If you're like what 8 minutes into the video, I'll just tell you the numbers, man. Yeah, my first sale was for 600 bucks, pounds. So in dollars, you're looking at like $900. And so that was my first ever thing. And then from there, the price has only gone like up, unless I do like a smaller batch, bro. So like for a month, I'll charge less than that, but like for 3 month programs, it'll be more than 600 bucks. See what I'm saying? Or it will be like a one-time course for $97, $47, that whole sort of thing. That's my price points. The reason I do it in dollars, and I'll talk about in dollars a lot, is because we're in the online game. The big distinction we did was move to online business because we didn't want to be location bound, right? And so if you think about it, your clients aren't going to be from the UK, they're not going to be from America, they're not going to be they're going to be from all over the world. Like, okay, let me just list out people that I've worked with, yeah? LA, Toronto, New York, spoken to guys. I'll include the guys I've spoken to as well, like I've done sales calls with, because that's just a scope of the gauge, right? Texas, the UK, Poland, Spain, Portugal, Turkey, Istanbul, and then Ankara again. Then you have Saudi Arabia. Then you had a couple guys in Australia, primarily Sydney and Melbourne. And then you had a couple guys in Wellington, New Zealand. Spoke to a guy in Hong Kong. Spoke to another guy in Malaysia. I actually reverted him. Well, he reverted. I just had a conversation with him. Um, you get my point. So to make it fair across the board, we just talk in dollars. With that all out of the way, obviously now at this point, you know that you just got to get one person. We're not going to focus on this big number here. We're going to focus on the first £600. We're going to focus on the first 1,000. I wouldn't dip below £600. So that would be like what, $900? I wouldn't dip below that just for like a 3 month package. Just throwing that out there. Like your time is valuable. You put a lot of effort into this shit. I will show you how to make the product that worthy. You're also gonna just assume that you, yeah, you're also just gonna assume that you have what it takes to deliver on it because delivery is fucking easy, bro. So I don't know why you're struggling or stressing about that. Like, just cross that bridge when you get to it. Like, genuinely, don't think about how you'd actually provide this value until you make the sale. Don't even like process the post sales part because until then, we actually have no idea. And what you'll realize is once you deliver on that, because you're not going to sell them something you can't deliver. You're going to look at their problems in the sales call, which I'll talk about, and then you'll be like, oh, what are the issues that the prospect, that the client, or the person who wants to look into my fitness program wants? What can I do for him to help him get there? And then just do that. Like the idea is, if you was to step into their shoes, what are the things that you'd want? What are the things you do? And you try and unload your brain onto them so that they do it. It might be a case of like they don't enjoy whatever. They don't enjoy going to the gym, which for you and I is like, actually, before I get into the marketing, let me just say that as well. Sorry, I'm doing a lot of talking. I need to get a lot off my chest. If we're gonna go through the whole thing, we might as well go through the whole thing. Like genuinely, grab like a coffee or grab like a water, get comfy. This is really going into the nitty gritty of things tonight. You understand? This is like it's like a guy just rambling on about his business, and he's gonna tell you everything. So if you plan on being like a fitness coach or anything like that, this video alone is just gonna be amazing for you. You understand? So tuck yourself in. We're in for a ride. Yep, though, I'm just going to recap over before. You are testimonial number one. The minute you get a sale, your imposter syndrome is gone because you can genuinely look yourself in the mirror and say, I coached this person to X transformation. And that's just a fact. By the way, the minute you get the first sale, like the minute you just do that and you start working on it, you could be like, I am coaching someone to achieve X transformation. And then 3 months or 4 months or 12 years down the line, you could be like, it's done. So do free coaching if you're insecure. The reason I say this is because I went straight into selling. Like I didn't offer any free coaching. I just kind of knew what to do. You know what I mean? Like, okay, with the workout, I know how to build a workout routine and not make it retarded. You know what I mean? Check my one. I'll build you an amazing one. And bro, I'll guarantee you, the program I will build for you is way different to anything you'll see online, purely because everyone builds it wrong. My unique thing is I'll build you the muscle based on where you want the muscle. Forget any compounds, forget any strength building, forget any powerlifting. If you're doing purely for aesthetics, I will get you the aesthetic physique. No bullshit. No, like, we're going to do leg press because we really like leg press. No, if your concern isn't legs or leg strength, I'm not going to be the guy to sit here and there, get you heavy on squats. If you want to do that, you can do that. But a lot of guys, they're just not hitting legs altogether. So what I'd rather do is get you to train legs 3 times a week, not really think about the weight, but the fact that you're even going there and progressively overloading 3 times a week, like that's a genuine transformation I do for people, and they enjoy it and they put up with it. Isn't that crazy? Like if you hate leg days, I can make you train legs 3 times a week and you won't even notice. Like genuinely, it wouldn't even register to your head that you're doing legs. That's how crazy my shit is. But that's an aside. That's because I'm just that guy in it. So yeah, like realistically, what are you gonna do? If someone wants to get to their body, you build them a split that gets them there. You build them a weekly routine or whatever. You build them a diet that they can follow, and you just make sure that they follow them. Like that's about it. That's as much hand holding as you can do in online coaching. The rest of it just comes from your philosophy, your mindset, and just like me myself, I don't want to just do fitness. I want to do like everything. So I help certain guys like monetize their skills and shit online, which is kind of what I'm doing here. But yeah, so I don't put myself in a box, but This is a good starting place at the very least, and everything else is just a bonus. People will pay you for that. Don't worry about it. I also used to think because I would never pay for coaching in the sense that I kind of just learned intuitively over like 2, 3, 4 years. What you don't realize is you're so addicted to the gym, you don't realize how in the loop you are. Like people don't realize that we enjoy the gym. It's not a disciplined thing for us. If you're watching this, and you want to become like a PT or coach or whatever, yeah. We enjoy it so much on our feed unknowingly is just niche gym references. Like niche. Why do we know shit about like Sam Sulek and how he's actually not good for bodybuilding standards? What? Like, do you realize how niche that really is? And like, oh, Young LA versus Gymshark, who's the better gym clothing and the influencers that wear them, and Alex Eubank, Natty, and like, I don't even follow gym stuff, but I know about that because it's just so close to my vicinity. People ain't got that. If you look at your relatives for you page, you won't find that shit. Like you might be the only person in your household, and if you're the only person who goes to the gym like on your street, you might be the only person in your vicinity who has that type of niche gym knowledge and ball knowledge just from existing in the last 3, 4 years. People are paying for that. You see? So don't think to yourself, will I pay for this myself? Because really and truly, you're not you're not the niche, you're not the issue. Like, yeah, a lot of people say, oh, like if you're not gonna charge, if you wouldn't buy this for $2,000, don't sell it for $2,000. I disagree. Because I know my shit fire. You understand? So, yeah, get the whole thing out your head, man. Don't be scared of pricing. A lot of the time, it comes from a state of poverty, and like you've never really seen real money. So that's why you're scared to charge £200 for this. Because a week ago, you're like, oh shit, how do I even get someone to charge $1 if it's like a stranger? You know what I say? I went straight into coaching. I didn't do no like training. I just went straight in because I was like, I'll figure it out along the way. If you're really about this, you know what I'm saying? Go into your plans, grab your balls, make sure there's two of them, be a man and just fucking do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, worry about the actual delivering until you make a sell. I'll tell you how, and this little trick here, I'll tell you a tip to reduce your churn by 90%. So stay out for that because that will probably end up solving this one here. This one's actually going to be a long one, isn't it? So, marketing, and we're going to talk about it from the point of the customer. Because if you think of it as a pipeline, like every single person just runs through every single person who touches your business runs through a pipeline, whether you realize it or not. Like whether someone glances at your page or just sees the link in your bio, that's the very start of the pipeline. When they glance onto your account, you land on their For You page. That's the first step of the pipeline. Then you convert it, and from there, the marketing can go into the sales. From the sales, it can go to the product. From the product, it can go to the customer service and happy family. So we're gonna work chronologically from when someone would see it. The whole idea of marketing is literally just letting people know about your stuff, and you've got a place where they can give you money. Like that's really all it is. In fact, the money part is just sales. Marketing, you've got four categories. Well, three really. You've got outreach, you've got organic content, you've got ads. Putting stuff on billboards. That's organic content. If you pay for that, then it's paid. Like if you put it on your front door, that's organic marketing. That's organic content, whether you realize it or not. Right? The other one is just like the trend shit, going outreach, door to door sort of thing. That's also marketing because it's just making people aware of the product. Paid ads, that's a whole nother ballpark. That's really what it comes in online money. I'll be so real. Like, if you, yeah, run more ads. Big up Mark Builds Brands. He's a sick guy. Big up Hamza. Big up Mark Builds Brands. Big up Sam Wolford. He was my mentor, 16-year-old from Cov. He used the synthesizer method. Big up Andrew Kirby in the scene. Synthesizer scaling, 300K monthly recurring revenue. Big up my mans. They're doing sick. I'm giving shout outs to them just because the work all of the above do is amazing. And so I'm just a student of them, really and truly. You understand? So, also Jay Hyatt, reality creator, Jay Hyatt coaching on Instagram, and JP Lifts coach on Instagram as well. Amazing source of that's like the only people I consume when it comes to this shit. Anyways, organic content takes too long. Takes 3 to 6 months to really get yourself popping. I made a Instagram account. It's at Night Locker Jars. at 50 followers, 3 months in, at 50 followers, 45 days in, I'd made about 1,500 from that. So yeah, really just follow the money numbers, not the actual followers. Like that follower account has like 50 followers. I average like 3 likes per video, and I still make over $1,000 from that account. Like it's insane when you max out the money side before the actual like the views and the vanity metrics. Because now I'm like really disillusioned. It's really interesting. Um, and my account's just better than everyone's. But organic takes too long. Paid ads is expensive. Assuming you're at the start, we're only left with outreach. Now, unfortunately for you, here's where the news kind of gets suckish. You're gonna have to hit up your warm outreach. All the contacts in your phone, all the Gmails, contacts, university email, Outlook, Snapchat, Instagram, WhatsApp, Telegram, school network, Discord, everything out the whole shebang. Every single person you can physically, humanely get into contact with is a lead and is warm outreach. And I want you when you hit these up, when you hit your grandma up, being like, "Hey, do you want coaching?" Or you hit bare people up, and you're like, "Hey, do you want coaching?" Get into the mindset of your product's amazing. It changes lives because it really does. If you really think about it, it changes lives. And I have a lot of fun doing it, and it's a sick product, and everyone should buy. So, me coming up to you, my friend from university acquaintance that we haven't spoken in years, I'm doing it for your sake, and I'm only here to help you. Like, we can do this whole business thing for like evil intent or whatever, but we're just here to make money and to do it in a purposeful way, which makes people happy, changes lives, shifts some beliefs, literally bend reality in the sense that we get people transform their lives, and they're like, holy shit. I was inconsistent in the gym. I was fat. I was lazy. I was skinny fat. I was South Asian. Now I'm none of the above. I'm just South Asian. Also, I feel like it's so easy for like, do you know the amount of fitness people that specifically target South Asian men because they're flipping insecure about fucking what was it called? From like just having bare belly fat, lower belly fat. I'm like, who gives a shit? Honestly, like the cure to it is as simple as everyone else's. Just get skinnier. I know it takes a lot of time, bro. The time's gonna pass regardless. Like honestly, it's a joke the state of like people online. As far as you can't get caught by audience capture, man. People are just stupid online, bro. You gotta turn your brain off, man. Give them a slap. Make sure they got two balls between their legs, bro. These flipping. I digress. Cool. So you're gonna hit everyone up that you know. From that, you're gonna run numbers like 90% of people ignore you, 10% get into a conversation, two of them hop on a call. Like those are the numbers you're running. Hit up 1,000 people, you might get like 4 calls, you might get 4 customers from that. That's just the maths, okay? And then so you're gonna be like, hey, do you want help? Yes. Get them on a call. Once you get them on a call, you're gonna run through a sales thing. Now, before we get into the sales, I'm just gonna take a break because I've been talking for a hot second. Oh, it's like watching a live, isn't it? Right. I've gotten to the point in the video where I've spoken for too long, and low key, I just want to call it a day. So I will be speed running the rest of this, but don't worry. Don't worry, we're gonna go for some valuable shit. Okay, here's how a sales call is gonna go. Now we split it into two. We do a 2 call close. It means that first call, we don't give no promises, we don't give no mention of the offer, the sales, the coaching, or anything like that. The purpose of this phone call is just to help them as much as possible. And the way you do that is by understanding the most. So all we're going to do in this phone call, this first call, is to understand them as much as possible. Now, I can go way more in depth on this in my mentorship, link in the description, school community, yada yada yada, you know the vibe. But here's how the premise goes for a sales call. And you can literally just write these notes down and flow it like a conversation. Expect it to take like an hour. You're meant to do it in like half an hour, but honestly, like, bro, just take the liberty and just enjoy the conversation. And you know what I mean? Really take your time to dig in. Like, we're not bounded by time, so we don't need to cut it in by like 30 minutes. You know what I mean? Just do it for the hour. So you get on the sales call. do a little chit chat, 5 minute conversation. How's the weather? Yeah, England. We just lost 2-1 to Argentina, which was a scam, bro. Why are you gonna tell me that it flipping? Oh, the momentum was on our side as soon as we got that goal, and then they flipping got it in at the end. I don't know why they just went all out attack. We forgot how to flipping. Nah, don't even get me started. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, cool. So what made you actually decide to hop on the phone call in the first place? Well, the reason we asked this question is because it qualifies the call, because they have to admit to a problem, and from there we go from like peer to peer to coach and client. When they admit that they have a problem, well, they're also admitting, even if they don't say it, that you are now the source of help. Like they've come with a problem. It is now up to you to dissect the issue because your knowledge and authority is here immediately. That first question is so important because it sets the dynamic for the rest of the conversation. That's how important it is. So, what made you decide to hop on this phone call? Why didn't you ghost me? It's such a powerful statement because you'll go from buddy buddy, and you might actually be buddy buddy. You might be friends at university, for example. But if you want to sell them to a coach, you're a coach, not a client. You know what I mean? So you set that ban, you set that authority. They admit they have a problem to you. From here, okay, now it makes sense for you to naturally lead and direct the conversation, stick to your script, and get the information that you need to help this person as much as possible. Do you see what we're doing here? Otherwise, you could have gone into the questions, they could have felt uncomfortable. But the fact that you've qualified the call, they're intuitively, because they've just expressed an issue to you, they're expecting a help and a solution because you said that answer first. And so we're going to do it like a bell curve on their emotions. We're going to start off, get all the information about what they're currently doing. You might want to write it down, split screen it on a Google Meet, whatever, right? First question, what are you currently doing? What's your goals? What's your priorities? What muscles are you training? How's your diet? What are you eating? What are the main things you're focused on in life? How's your parents? Da 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 da. And yeah. Then the next set of questions is, where do you want to be? And where do you want to be is that version of themselves. Chance a lot of the times in fitness, these clients and these people that come for help, they never set out to become athletes or bodybuilders. They're just regular people who understand that health is important. And so it's often a means to an end in the sense that they want to get fit. Why? Maybe it's to overcome some insecurity. Maybe it's, they want to get ready for marriage and they want to be marriage material. So they want to look better. They want to be healthier. Maybe it's, I want to try for a child soon. And so I want to be in the best health and shape and form for my kid. Another one could be, I just want to sleep with a lot of people at university. Like that's some genuine reasons. And we've all got our own. We just got to be like, all right, cool, just run with whatever they say. I've heard it all, by the way. Those are real examples I've gotten on calls. Or it could just be like I've been fat my whole life and I actually just want to look good in the shirt. Or maybe I've got a holiday in 3 months. And so what you want to do is paint that vacation. The ideal version's got a six pack, they fit in nice clothes, they don't have to worry about food, they don't really cook either. Cooking is a big one I've noticed. People want to spend no time cooking. Luckily, I spend like 3 minutes a day cooking, if that. So I'm the perfect guy to ask. But they're spending too much time cooking. Their desired situation is they're not in a rush. They've got so much cortisol, so much on their plate. Their relatives getting married. The last thing they need to think about is gym, and that's slacking. And they feel like their mental health is going horrible. Like you just go into their life. Gym is just the vessel that we use to transform these people's lives. And I genuinely mean that. Like it's so much deeper than just health and fitness. Because when you think about it, you're selling people health. Do you see how big that is? Like, we're genuinely going to turn people into happy, healthy people. You know the analogy when someone gets sick, all they can think about is becoming healer. Like, they'll have 100 problems. The minute you're on a hospital bed, you only have one. You know what I'm trying to say? So, we're trying to prevent that. We're trying to give them a lifelong of prosperity and happiness and low cortisol and looking good and confidence and feeling like themselves and knowing that they can accomplish a goal and just become disciplined and do all these things. We want to go into specifically for the individual what that dream, that vacation looks like, and then the pains and problems follow afterwards. When we begin asking, well, why are we here in the first place? Why do they even need a coach? We got to find out why. So why haven't you achieved your biggest challenge yet? Why do you feel like, why do you lack the willpower to cook as often as you need to? Why is it the case that it's been 3 years and you've barely moved up 2 kilograms? Why is it that after every strenuous period of your life, you just regress back to the old degenerate version of you that's just snacking on food in your bed late night, skinny fat, looking horrible in the mirror? Why is that? Like, what is wrong with you? You see what I'm saying? Like, you gotta ask these questions. We really gotta get into it because if I'm gonna coach you, I gotta know you. I really want this for you. This is the mentality you need to go into personal training with. Do you get it? So in this sales call, you're just running a diagnostics. Bear in mind, this entire conversation that you're on this call with someone, you haven't gotten a single like answer for them. And if they answer like push for an answer, you'd be like, yeah, we'll get to that. Don't worry. Like I really want to help you, and I feel like, well, the best way I can help you is to really know you. I could give you generic advice, and to be honest, if you wanted generic advice, you and I both know you would have gone to the ChatGPT first. Like, there's a reason that there's a human to human call on here, and that's because I actually know you as a person and I can help you in that manner. You see what I'm saying? So that should conclude the first call. And the way you wrap it up is, well, thank you. I've actually got to go now, unfortunately. It was lovely speaking to you. But what I do want to do for you is, I mean, would you be free tomorrow? I'd love to sit back and just give you a real plan for you to move forward with. I mean, would you be free at 6 p.m. tomorrow? They'd be like, yeah, sure. Then you get them on the call, and this is where you pitch to them. So what you're going to do, small chit chat as usual. This is the second call the next day, get it booked. Send them a reminder an hour before. Do that before every call because you never know who flakes and who disappears, etc. And you start the conversation by saying this. I just want to recap over the things we said from the last conversation, make sure we're all clear. And by the way, I'm super excited to share this with you. This can potentially change your life. And so I'll walk you through this roadmap I built for you. You'll get this roadmap for free. But on top of that, I also want to offer you my help in implementing it through my one-to-one mentorship. And so I'll give you all the information and you can just make a decision as to whether or not you want to be a part of it at the end of the call. Does that sound good? Yeah, amazing, man. So just to recap where you currently are, and then you just give a description of what their current situation is. Did I miss anything? Chances are they didn't. We didn't. Great. And so if we talk about where you want to be, then you want to be at a stage where, and then you recap where they want to be. Does that all sound correct to you? They're like, yeah, sure. I'll be like, so correct me if I'm wrong, but it just sounds like to me if you had a proven roadmap to follow and potentially, someone who's been in your boat and helped people in a lot worse position before, get you to where you need to be, you probably just lock in and grind on that shit, right? They'll be like, yeah, maybe. I'll be like, yeah, I know. Then you go, okay, so if you get real about what's in the way, then you talk about all the pains and problems, and then this is your chance to really talk about the situation because when you're selling fitness, you're not selling, you don't want to pitch your product against the price. You want to pitch it against the opportunity cost. If they continue the way they're living, where will they end up? Well, they won't be at their goal first and foremost, but if they keep snacking on junk food, if they keep staying skinny fat, if they still have a hectic routine and they still don't know how to combat it despite all the things going on in life, they'll never achieve their dream physique. That's such a shame. That is such a shame. Like, you and I are blessed. Like, we like the gym. Like, getting in the top 10%, 5%, 1% of physiques worldwide was just part of the plan for us. I don't really think you realize how blessed we are in that manner. But for a lot of people, it isn't. And so imagine you in your state now being on the other end of the rainbow, knowing how beautiful it is to have a beautiful physique. How are you going to turn around and be the reason because you couldn't close this person, because you couldn't force him into a client that he will never be able to see the best version of themselves? You're doing them a disservice by holding yourself back. And I want you to dig in on their pains because they need to realize what's really at stake. When I say it like this, it's clear to me and you. But for the person on the other end of the phone call, they might not realize what's really at stake. And they might want to do it themselves. And, yeah, it won't be perfect, but I'll get there eventually. Yeah, but do you want to spend like 9 months doing something you could have done in two? Like, get a grip on your fucking self. How low is your ambition if you don't mind taking 6 years for a transformation that could have been done in two? Like, genuinely, that's it's just dirty, man. Get really in on their pains, and then pitch them the roadmap. And the roadmap is the product. Give them a rundown of how it all works. And with every stage and explanation of what the product is, it might just be like, and it's based on the previous call. Because on the previous call, they mentioned a bunch of things. There was a timing issue, a routine issue, maybe an outfit issue, a dating issue, a social issue, a relationship issue, a cortisol issue, a work issue, a meditation issue, a sleep issue. You know what I mean? There's so many different things. And so it's not just a workout routine. There's a lot going on there. So you might pick three things because two's too simple, four's too complicated. Three's the sweet spot. Go four if you really have to, but you shouldn't need to, honestly. Three things. Pick out three aspects, give them a cool name, and run them through how the program works specifically for their needs. And that's the big one. Because, for example, someone might not struggle with dieting at all. So if you talk about the program and how it fixes diet, well, it's going to mean nothing to them. And so no one cares about your program, no one cares about your product. They just care about what transformation you can do for them. Do you get it? So it becomes very much about them. Like, you have this product, which is like three things. How can you warp it to make it seem like it will get them to their desired situation as much as possible? Because if it's timing, for example, could be freeing up time so you can spend more time with the kids, or it could be freeing up more time so you can work on your side business that you've still made no money in, low key. Or it could be working on your YouTube, or it could be working on some qualification, right? So you can talk about crunching down the time in the gym by being like, if we halve the amount of time you're in the gym, even like from like 2 hours to 1 hour, and still get even better results from the actual effort of the program, then you have all that much time to work on the other thing. Or you'll have so much more time to take it slowly and de-stress and run lower cortisol just throughout your body. Or, now that you're not eating at like stupid times, you're cramming all this food and you're not binge eating anymore, you can actually just go to sleep and fix years of sleep debt. You see how it's a simple concept, but when you wrap it to be around their specific issues, suddenly every single phone call looks completely different. Okay? And so then you move on to the sale. And this is just, honestly, just watch a sales video and like closing the things like, oh, now's not the right time. Now's actually the perfect time because you're always going to have like, basically, you're going to go to the price drop. You're going to pre-objection handle. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident do you feel? If it's not a 10, you make it a 10. So you could be like, okay, why is it not a 1? They'll talk about the good parts about it, remind them of it. Then be like, why is it not a 10? Or why is it a 6? They'll talk about certain concerns or doubts they have. Your program will annihilate all of it. And so this is just boils down to sales skill. Then when it comes to the price drop, there's even more sales skills used. And then you just run over that. I'll run over some basic ones really quick, the ones that I use. I'll give you like the basic runaround or theory behind it. I'm not going to give you what to say in the actual sales call because it just talks to me in my mentorship. There's too much to go through. This video's fucking been like 40 minutes of recording, right? Now was not the right time. Well, now's actually the great time because what, you think you're not going to be busy for the rest of your life? No, you're going to go through busier periods. What's going to happen then? You're going to fuck off like usual? No, so wouldn't it make sense to work through the hardest period together so that once we tackle that, you'll never have to worry about busy, stressful periods and your physique will always improve regardless of the period of time you're going through, right? Doesn't that make sense? They were like, yeah, okay, cool. So you've solved the time issue, ask for the sale. It would be like, oh, I need to think about it. Absolutely. What do you need to think about? Yeah, I just gotta see if okay, let's just see that. Like the amount of times you can go from I need to see if it works in my bank to let's see if it works in the bank. It's such a dramatic swift shift. Because if someone can admit to you that price is the only thing holding them back, for example, then you can just talk about the money and have that uncomfortable conversation. I just gotta see if the money works out. Okay, cool. Is it just the price that's holding you back? No, there's actually this other thing, and whatever that other thing is, you can answer that as well. I just don't think this is for me. Why do you feel like it's not for you? and then be like, well, I have this unique circumstance, and then you can just pull out an example out your ass and just be like, well, I mean, me, I would point out the fact that I've helped other people, but chances are you won't get a special snowflake case, and if it does, genuinely just be like, hey, I had a friend in a similar position to you. Do you mind if I tell you a story? They were like, yeah, sure, go ahead. And then you talk about this story about this person who's in a worse position than them, and then talk about what it took to come through the other side. And so if someone with a worse transformation was able to do it, what makes you feel like this wouldn't work for you destroys that completely. Then you talk about the money. Is it just the money that's holding you back? Then they'd be like, if then they turn around and be like, yeah, then be like, oh, so if you had the money, you'd be 100% down to start today. They'd be like, yeah, okay. Do you want to work out how we can make this work? And they'd be like, yeah, sure. Because at that point, they're actually on board and they want your help. So let's figure it. Let's crunch the numbers. I've been on calls like notepad and pen, and I'm writing down their income, their expense, their savings, their assets and shit like that. And we're genuinely crunching numbers trying to find out like how this person can afford my program. Like, isn't that beautiful? The fact that someone's so committed to make a change and you're so determined to change them that you're literally going through the muddiness of someone's bank account to make sure it works. Like, it's just beautiful. If they genuinely can't afford it, all right, go down to payment plans. I've taught you in this call to charge high and be like 600, 900, £1 million, whatever, right? If you're working in the time span of 3 months, you can crunch it down in the sense that it could be like, okay, cool, let's do it at like a third of the price every month, like monthly installment. Chances are, even if they're not trying to pay the full price, or they just want to run 1 month or 2 months, mate, you still get a month of coaching, and that will be far more better than like anything else. Like a lot of the time, people can't afford my full program price, and that's fine because I deliberately charge it high because the shit I do is fucking life changing. Yeah, if you couldn't tell already, and a big part of it is people say no, but they still want to buy it. A lot of the times when they only have like a third or half the amount in their bank account, we just run it for a month. Like we just do, okay, let's just do a month together and I'll put as much effort and transformation as possible into you. They'd be like, yeah, cool, because they genuinely want it. By the end of it, the next end of the month comes up, I just do a normal monthly review call. They pay for the second month and then they pay for the third month because once people's doubts are just because they haven't done it yet, they haven't made the investment. Also, I wouldn't do anything paid for free. Like I wouldn't feel some empathy for someone because they really can't afford it, and you'd be like, okay, we'll just extend the time just for you. No, don't fucking do that, because a big part of this transformation comes from the fact that they put money down. Like at this point, put them losing money will benefit them in the situation because then they'll have sunk cost and they'll be like, okay, now I have to do it properly. That's why free coaching never does as good as paid coaching. Even though hypothetically it's such a great, like an infinitely greater deal on their side, it never works because money puts a lot of commitment down. That's what people don't get. They hold it like Jews and then you want to keep it close to themselves. Who gives a fuck, yeah? And that's it. Once you close the deal, you made the sale, then you talk about your product. Literally everything you said on the product, be like, how can I fix that for them? And just do that. And chances are, like, because people don't care about how pretty anything looks, right? That's what you think. But bear in mind that until someone actually pays you, they have no idea what this execution looks like. And so they just got to accept that, like, whatever process you're running is working because chances are it will. You know what I mean? So, just do an onboarding call, give them the new diet, give them the new training program, tell them how the whole rundown works. You can do weekly check-ins, you can do unlimited check-ins, you can do monthly. I've just found that like people really don't need the weekly. Like the guys who need weekly check-ins, they need weekly check-ins, but majority of people are happy to run like no calls. I have guys paying me thousands, like they've been on my shit for months. We don't even communicate. Like we do a catch-up call every month. We talk about what's going good, we talk about what's going bad. I give him some steps to follow, and then he just pays me the next month, and then we don't speak for the entire month. Like it's amazing how like independent people are. They just need that push. And so, in terms of customer service, just give them as much as they want. Like, if so, I've got a client who calls me basically every day. He's just a son to me at this point. Like, I love the guy, right? he calls me more times in a week than the rest of my clients combined. But I said it was unlimited, so I'll give him unlimited. And to be honest, like if I just went and told him like, yo, you're doing too much, he'll absolutely respect it. And also like I'm doing this unlimited thing. You won't need a lot of calls after like the first month of like first week of working together. A lot of people just get on with it really. Every month you just look at some blind spots and then you just do that. You know what I mean? I wouldn't even overthink it too much, to be honest. It is 3 a.m. right now. Holy shit. We made it to 3 a.m., guys. W's in the shit. I'm not even streaming. Let me just hide my tits, bro. And so, yeah, don't worry about it. If it gets to a point where you've just got a batch of customers that are like, they're asking for way too much contact, honestly, at the end of the month, do a review call, be like, hey, we're restructuring a bunch of shit. Calls are now just taken to this, or you move it to group coaching, or you make it to coursework, like stuff like that. Like, the more access and time you realize that you actually can't fulfill on, the more you should just be like, okay, we're gonna dial this back a bit, or my program is gonna now become group coaching, or it's now gonna become like just increase the price even because that will filter out less people so you'll end up making more money with less clients, which means less calls, which means everything balances. You see what I'm saying? So don't worry about the unlimited support, don't worry about time zones, that means nothing. Like you'll just make it work. And customer service, yeah, anything, any course or low ticket thing I build for like people, uh I'll just give it for free to my mentorship clients. Like I'll just give it like the guys in my mentorship, they just keep getting everything for free. And then because this absolute ball knowledge is just in my head and these guys get it directly to like what's happening in their lives. What can we take away right now to change your life as much as possible using all my knowledge that I have? Boom. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? Like staying on a mentorship, you got to do more in terms of like blowing their expectations, always overfilling, like over delivering on your shit because that's how you get people to stay. And then, but you don't have to go out of your way and kill your back out. Like you'll naturally do extra shit that you could be like, oh wait, my mentees could really benefit from it. You know what I mean? And so you just do it like that. And that's how you keep stacking on these things. Final tip then, before I make this an hour-long video. Tip to reduce churn by 90%. If you nail the first month, give them a good first month, churn reduces by 90%. And so forget the second, forget the third, just get a good first month. How do you make a good first month? People get their first impressions of your business within the first 24 to 48 hours. Like that's their impression. If you go ghost on them for 3 days or give them something shit in 2 days, then it's like they'll feel like, what the hell's this thing? They'll churn out. So if you nail the next 24 hours, if within the next 24 hours of them getting a sale, you can get them to say, wow, or like, this is enough work, or you can even just spill everything you know on a sheet of paper, vomit, and just be like, this is my life's knowledge in 1 hour condensed. That could be enough. Like if you just do all of that within 24 hours of getting the sale and just making that your focus, forget the whole 3 month package. If you can nail the first 24 hours, they will stay for the entire time. The first 24 hours will reduce churn for the next 3 months by 90%. Just got to make that count. It has been a pleasure talking you through this ride. Okay? Have a blessed day. And if you made it to the very end, send me your bank details. I'm going to give you a $5. I'm joking. Um, what that? 47. Yeah, it's too late, man. Take care.